Okay, what is going on today? I apologize for the length of this video, but it's the Unit 7 Assessment Review, and it's got quite a bit of information you need to know. If you're online, you have this document here, okay, from here, and then the second page. If you're on the packet, these have the same problems, okay. If you're on virtual, you need to get a piece of graph paper, just one for now, okay. Just one front back, because you have to solve the system of equations by graphing. So the first problem, you have y equals 4x plus 3, y equals negative x minus 2. Again, that's y equals 4x plus 3, y equals negative x minus 2. So I make a kind of a table to organize my information from each equation. So we have y equals 4x plus 3. Then y equals negative x minus 2. So the y is clearly by itself in both these equations. So you have the slope y-intercept ready to go, m and b. So slope would be 4 over 1, and then the y-int would be plus 3. So on the y-axis I go up 1, 2, 3. And from there we're going forward 1, up 4. Or up 4, forward 1. If you can't do it again, not a big deal. Okay. Line can be graphed with 2 points. Okay, then my other equation, y equals negative x minus 2. Well, that negative x is negative 1x, and you got mb. So slope y-int. So slope would be negative 1 over 1, and then minus 2 would be your y-intercept. So you would go down 2, that's your y-intercept, and you go forward 1, down 1. And definitely you can see those lines are going to cross, you just have to identify the point where they cross. Now guys, you got to graph your point. You got to label your point, right? Start in the middle. Okay, they cross right here. Okay. So I have to go left 1, so negative 1, that's your x. Then I have to go down 1, negative 1. There you have it. Okay, number 2. 2y minus x equals 2, and then y equals 1/2 x plus 1. So you need to make your table. Okay, y is not by itself there, so we'll have to do some rearranging, but it is by itself here. So mb, so I'm going to graph the one that's got the y by itself. So 1 over 2, and then plus 1, your y-intercept. Okay, then I go forward 2, up 1. Okay, now on the other one, I will put that on. You can continue to write down here, but I'm going to put that on notebook paper so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we have to get the y by itself. So you want the x and y both to have coefficients, meaning put a 1 in front if it doesn't. Now there's your y, and it's positive. Check it. Okay. But a check mark means you're good. You don't have to do the opposite sign thing. Okay, so you plus 1x, that's a negative 1x. Then you make a 0x and you add a 1x there. So you got 2 times y. 0 plus 1 is 1 plus 2. Then you divide everything by 2. Now remember, you don't want a decimal, so if you get a decimal like 1 divided by 2 is, you keep that 1/2 x, and then 2 divided by 2 is 1. So mb, now we have that. Okay. So slope would be 1/2, and the y-intercept would be plus 1. Okay, so plus 1, oh, there's already a point there. And forward 1, up 1. Or excuse me, up 1, forward 2. Well, I'm just tracing over the same line. That's when it's IMS, infinitely many solutions. Okay, number 3. 4y equals 8x plus 8, and then y equals 2x minus 1. Again, that's 4y equals 8x plus 8, and y equals 2x minus 1. Okay, so on one side I put 4y equals 8x plus 8, and on the other side y equals 2x minus 1. Now y is not by itself there, there's a multiplier of 4, but y is by itself here, so we have the m and the b. So slope would be 2 over 1, the y-ant would be minus 1. So you go down 1, and from there we're going to go forward 1, up 2. And that is a line that represents all the solutions to the first equation. Now for the second one, the y is not by itself, but I don't have to do much to get it by itself. You just have a times 4 now. That's a check because it's positive, but you don't have to add or subtract anything. You go straight to your dividing because there's nothing outside the 4 times y that I would need to take out. Okay, so that's going to be 2x, that's going to be 2. And now you get your m and b. So the slope is 2 over 1, of course, and the y-ant would be the plus 2. Okay, so on the y-axis I go up to 2. Then from there, my slope takes me forward 1, up 2 for the sub forward 1, up 2, forward 1, up 2, forward 1. Now those lines are not going to cross because they're parallel, okay? The reason they're parallel is because the slopes were exactly the same, okay? So you write no solution parallel. Okay, now in the next problem, those on virtual, you'll need to get a notebook out, and next you're going to have to have front, back, and both sides will be split into the 8 boxes like I usually have. So in this one, you're solving the equation by substitution, okay? And here's the equations. 3y plus 4x equals 14, and y equals 2x minus 3. Again, I'll repeat that. That's 3y plus 4x equals 14, and y equals 2x minus 3. Now, substitution means you're looking for a base variable. You don't have one there, but you have one here because you have y by itself. Remember, it can be y or x. So I circle what it's equal and label that your base. Then we take the other equation over here, 3y plus 4x equals 14. Then we remove the base variable. We parenthesize it and get rid of it. The 3 doesn't go in parentheses, it's still out there. And then above it we put 2x plus negative 3. Now we have to line this up. So you're going to have 3. 2x plus negative 3, okay, so cross out the 3, cross that out, then keep writing, plus 4x equals 14. Now I'm going to be solving for x, okay, so I distribute the 3, here's the plus, so I distribute 3 to 2x, 3 to negative 3. So it gives me 6x and negative 9. So remember the plus, I've got 6x, negative 9, and then I have to add the 4x into the equation. Now the x's, guys, don't take out the smaller x. They're on the same side. Take out the smaller is a move when you do, and they're on both sides. They're on the same side. So I v it. That's going to give me 10x plus negative 9. And now I'm good to solve. The x has a times and a plus. So take out your negative 9. You'd add 9, and that would take you to 14. Then or excuse me, 23, my bad, 23. Then divide by 10. 23 divided by 10 is 2.3. So x is, now I'm okay with a decimal, I just don't want those ones that go on forever, so 2.3 is x. Okay, then we got to find y. I would probably use the equation that had the y by itself. So 2.3 goes in for x, because that's the answer. So 2 times 2.3 is 4.6. So we now have y equals 4.6 plus negative 3. Just add them, okay? They're on the same side, so that's 1.6. Okay, number 5. 5x plus 6y equals 8. And then we have x equals negative 3y minus 7. So again, remember I said it could be x or y as your base. Now it's x. Make that a plus negative 7. Now your top equation is 5x plus 6y equals 8. Okay, so now it's x that we remove. And we replace it with negative 3y plus negative 7. So I drop my 5, and then I make my parentheses and put negative 3y plus negative 7. Then keep writing, you got plus 6y equals 8. Now it's lined up. Okay, so I distribute 5 in here. There's the plus, not out here though, it's just in the parentheses. 3y, negative 7. So that's 15y and negative 35. See ya, and then put your plus 6y. Okay. Excuse me, that was negative, I'm sorry, that was a negative 3y, so it's negative 15y, negative 15y, sorry about that. Okay. Now combine your y's, those are like terms, you combine them. So I write y down, and I simply just add negative 15 plus 6, it's negative 9. And you also have to add your negative 35 into the equation. Plus 35 plus 35. 8 plus 35 is 43. Divide by negative 9. That's not cool. When you get that, you hit second PRB and negative 4 7/9. Okay? That's your y. Now to solve for x, use the one that's got the x by itself. It's 30 times easier. That goes in for y. Put the times dot. Okay. So negative 4 7/9. So we're obviously going to times that. So I take negative 3 times negative 4, ABC 7, ABC 9. It's going to be 14 1/3. So x equals 14 1/3 plus negative 7. Now you just drop the x down and add. Seven and 1/3. Okay, there you go. 5, number 6, number 7. Solve the system by elimination. Now you're not going to use the base here. Eliminations when you line them up into columns and you're trying to add to get 0. Either the x's or the y's. 5 plus 3 is 8, but I think negative 6 plus 6 is 0. We're good. We don't even have to change the signs. And then 5 plus 3 is 8x. And negative 32 plus 32 plus 48 is 16. I'll get rid of that. And you got 8 times x equals 16. So I don't need to screw around over here. Okay. I will on the next one, but not this one. So x equals 2. Okay, now you're going to have to use one of the equations, doesn't matter which one. I would use the top. 5x plus negative 6y equals negative 32. And then my answer 2 goes in for x. Remember, that means 5 times 2, that's 10. So now we have 10 plus negative 6y equals negative 32. We have to get rid of things on the y side. Y is not by itself. So you got a plus and a times. So you take out the 10. Negative 32 minus 10 is negative 42. Then you divide by negative 6. And that ends up being equal to 7. So 2, 7. Okay. Next one, number 7. 6x minus 3y equals 15. 6x minus 3y equals 15. Then 7x plus 4y equals 10. 7x plus 4y equals 10. If you're on virtual, you need to be writing it down, obviously. Okay. Okay, so elimination's still the way to go. 6 plus 7 is 13. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1. Okay, so neither adds to 0, and we don't have the same term here or here, so you're multiplying. And you got to come write a new one over here. So 7, and then 6. Then if I'm timesing this by 7, I got to multiply the rest of that by 7. I've made that plus negative 3. And then go from there. So 7 times 6x is 42x. 7 times negative 3y is negative 21y. And 7 times 15 is 105. The bottom, 42x. 4 times 7 is 28y. 10 times 7 is 7. Now reorganize your columns. And we have the same here, but it's not going to add to 0 unless that's a negative. Now it's 0, but then that at 28's got to become its opposite. Okay? And 70 has to become its opposite. So, at that point, we will be taking negative 21 plus negative 28. It's going to be negative 49y. 105 plus negative 70 is going to give me 35. Okay, these go away. Divide by negative 49, divide by negative 49. That's not good, so second PRB equals negative 5/7 is your y. Okay, now to solve for the x, write your other equation. Okay, write one of the equations, it doesn't matter. You don't have x by itself, so you got to pick one or the other. So I usually go at the top. So y is negative 5/7. Then you take negative 3 times negative 5 over 7. I got 2 1/7. Got to hold it together here. So 6x plus 2 1/7 equals 15. Then minus 2 1/7 minus 2 1/7. Remember, you got 6 times x. That's now I got to divide by 6 still. Whoops, I did that wrong. It's 2 1/7. Okay. 12 6/7. I take 12 6/7 divided by 6. Okay. 2 1/7. Okay. Okay, interesting looking answer, but yeah. Okay, number 8, those on virtual will have to find that document I scanned to you. You have to highlight the region that represents the solution to the system of inequalities. Remember, when they throw greater than and less than signs, just the point of crossing isn't the answer. It's one full region where they intersect, okay? Angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D. So I make A, B, and C. And I make tables, okay? Okay, so on each side of the table, I copy down the inequality. We don't need to graph it, it's already graphed. Negative y is just copy that, and copy that. Now we're going to find a coordinate to test out for A. Let's go here, okay? So 1, 1, 2. X is 1, y is 2. Remember, you went forward 1, so positive 1, up 2, positive 2. Okay, so y is 2. Okay. X is 1. So again, you're going to about put a times dot there. So what do you have now? You got 2, then you got negative 1/2 times 1 plus 5. Okay. So that side's set at 2, and on the other side, we just go multiply negative 1 ABC2 times 1 plus 5, 4.5. That's a yes. Then 2 goes for y, 1 goes for x. You don't have anything in front of the x, so you don't times. You can make it plus negative if you want. Either way, it's 0. That's a yes, so good. A is the answer. I don't need to move on. Again, if it's driving you nuts not having a multiplying, just put a 1 there, but I don't know why you want to do that. Okay. Now, story problems. Number 9, if you're on a virtual, you're going to want to do 1 per sheet of paper because it's quite a bit of setup. At a concession stand, popcorn costs 50 cents more than pretzels. The concession stand sold 96 bags of popcorn and 48 pretzels. They made $336 total. What's the cost of a bag of popcorn? What's the cost for a bag of pretzels? And if you're on the document, you see 3 units in bold. Dollars is in bold. Look carefully. If you see on the thing, you see 3 underlined units. So yeah. So set up your table, and you have together how many units per unit and total. So you've got popcorn, you've got pretzels, you've got dollars total, dollars per unit. Now the dollar total together is $336. Now find the numbers not money related. Well, 96 bags of popcorn, 48 pretzels. You add these, you get 144. Now, there is a value that helps me fill this out. It's 50 cents more. That means plus 0.50. But you don't just put that in any box you want. It says popcorn costs 50 cents more, so popcorn is plus 0.50. Now, when I'm able to put that plus, that means I don't need a y. So we're not going to make that cross, okay? Okay, this is x, and this is x by itself. Now we need to multiply. 48 times x is pretty straightforward. It's just 48x. But to multiply 96 times x plus 50 cents, you need to put a parentheses and then bring it up here and multiply. I like to circle the plus. So I need to distribute 96 to 1x, 96 to 50 cents. So it's 96x, and 96 times 0.50 is 48. So it's 96x plus 48. That's what we're going to put down there. Now remember I said since we don't need y, we just need to write one equation. You don't need a second one. Don't look around and say freak out because you don't have two equations to write. Okay, so I combine the x's. Remember, don't take out the smaller one. That's a both sides move. They're on the same side. So that's 144x plus 48 equals 336. So I minus 48. 336 minus 48 is 288, and then we have 144 times x. And I divide and I get 2. So x is 2. Now what do you do with that solution? You come up here and put 2 in for the x's. So the pretzels are $2, and then the popcorn, 2 plus 50 cents is 2.50. Okay, number 10. I might have to go to a second video because my camera's running low. A student sells small and large greeting cards. The small cards cost $3 each. The large cards cost $5 each. The student sells 25 cards. They make a total of $95. How many of each type of card were sold? So we're finding the small and the large. Okay. So again, you got 3 units working together. Together. How many units per unit and total. Then you got small and large. And money total, money per unit. Okay, what's the total together? Total money together is $95. Now find me a non-money number, 25, that's all you have, but it's not small and large, so it's automatically together. Then I have to use x and y, and there's your first equation. So you'll need to make a cross eventually. Now my second equation, the small cards cost $3, the large cards cost $5. So to find the money total for the small, we take x times 3, and I end up with 3x. Then for the small, y times 5, I end up with 5y. So my two equations are x plus y equals 25 from the top, and then 3x plus 5y equals 95 on the bottom. Now I use my elimination method. Clearly these are not going to add to 0, and you don't have the same in either column, so you need to multiply by 3, by 1. Then the rest of this is time multiplied by 3, and then by 1. So you're going to have 3x plus 3y equals 75, and on bottom you're going to have 3x plus 5y equals 95. Okay, now that needs to be negative if you're going to add it to 0, and then that's negative, because if I write that as a negative, everything else in the equation has to go to the opposite. So 3 plus negative 5 is negative 2y. 75 plus negative 25 is negative 20. So times Then you just divide by -2, go right to divide, and y equals 10. Okay, so I have 10 large cards. Now, if you want to write one of the equations, you can, but there's a much quicker way. Okay, y is 10, put a times there. 1 times 10 is 10. 1x plus 10 equals 25. Minus 10 minus 10, that's 15. And then divide by 1, still 15. Or divide by 1, excuse me, is 15. Another way I could have got that is just take 25 minus 10. Okay, number 11. A website allows users to download individual songs or entire albums. One person downloads 5 songs in one album and pays a total of $14.94. Another person downloads 3 songs and 2 albums and pays a total of $22.95. How much does it cost to download a song? How much for an album? So if you're on virtual, you see the problem there, same thing. So you make your grid for the songs, albums, and the money. So together, how many units per unit in total? So you've got the songs and the albums as your independent units, and then the money total, money per unit. Now, money total together, there's actually 2. There's $14.94 and there's $22.95. Okay, so take those out. Now look for non-money numbers, and there's a heck of a lot. Remember, if we have 2 things in that box, and all the boxes need 2 items. 5 songs, 1 album. Later on, 3 songs, 2 albums. So that adds to 6, that adds to 5. We don't really use those, but at least they're there. Alright, now, we don't have any values, so the songs, you can either use S and S or X and X. It doesn't matter. You can use A and A or Y and Y. So then to find the expressions for the guy who paid $14.94, we're going to take 5 times X, and for the guy who paid $22.95, we take 3 times X. So that's 5X and 3X. If you put 1s, it doesn't change it. Then the albums, same idea, 1 times Y, 2 times Y, so it's going to be 1Y and 2Y. So there's your 2 equations. They're stacked together already. Organize your work. 5x plus 1y equals 14.94. And then we have 3x plus 2y equals 22.95. So you're going to have to use elimination. So you don't have the same in either column, so times 3 times 5. Rest of that's times 3, rest of that's times 5. So 3 times 5x is 15x, 3 times 1y is 3y, and then I go on a calculator and I take 3 times 14.94. I got 44.82. Okay, then the bottom, okay, my battery's about to run out, I'll have to have another video.